Hey everybody, I am trying to create a pillar right now. Now this is what I've got so far. Let's sculpt it a little bit more. So right now I've got H polish selected, which will carve away my geometry. I also have Y radial symmetry on, so we can, have similar results all around our object. Okay, I like that. Now okay, I like that. Now, let's give this some texture. So, right now we don't have any textures activated. We can open this palette and we can select one of these if we wanted to. If this wooden texture was what I wanted to, we could select this, but let's dive into Lightbox, textures, or texture, and then just, browse through this huge library of, free textures you can use. And let's find a nice pillar texture. Let's see. I like... that looks nice. It's wood, but I like the way that looks. Now, we clicked it, but we haven't selected it in our scene or imported it into our scene. To do that, you've got to double, triple click just until you see it, move into your texture box. So now that texture is part of our scene. So now we can close Lightbox, and then let's dock the texture palette over here. Okay, nice. Now, we wanted to add this texture to this. So, let's, right here, add to spotlight, right? Click that, and whatever texture we had highlighted, it will throw into our Lightbox. If we wanted to, we could, click this, and click this, plus, minus, to add this to our, scene. So now we've got those two textures, and then I like this one too, so throw that in there as well. But let's close Lightbox, and then just way down here, this is the original texture we had. If we double click this, that will make that active, and the others, down below. And then you can move everything around, and whatever you have selected. Right now we've got this selected, this selected, this selected. We can move this separately from the rest of the textures. Okay, so now that is all that this object is, I don't know. This texture is in front of the object that we've got. So press, let's see, spotlight radius, click and drag this. Okay, you can see that little circle in the background. That's how big the texture will be. Okay, then click where you want that to start. Okay, then press Z to exit out of that. And now we can start putting this texture on our pillar. So, if we just, let's see, H polish, that's not going to work. BCB, okay, we still have that texture on our brush, so when we start drawing, that texture will imprint on this object. But we need to have, let's just turn mRGB on. I like that. And turn off Z-add because we don't want the structure of our object to change. And then just click. And that object is now on our pillar. Drag around. You can move around to see if it gives you any seams. And right now this object is being applied to this pillar many times. Like the transform radial count is way up. If we move this to 100, now that texture is being applied to this 100 times. So let's turn that down quite a bit, probably 8 times, and we get a much different look. Okay. Now you can paint on this with symmetry on, but if you wanted to be a little more precise, you should turn that off. So let's turn symmetry off. Now let's okay, we've got our free hand, so now we can just paint that texture on our object, and this should look a lot nicer. Okay, then if we move around, we'll have to paint on it again. And that is how we put a texture on our pillar using Lightbox. Or Lightbox was handy because we could, search these textures to find what we wanted to. Let's say I wanted to add another one. Let's do this one. Image. Okay. Click it. Okay. Now that is part of our spotlight. So let's make sure that that is selected. And click outside. Now click on the texture and make sure just that is selected, and then press Z. Now when we paint on it, it'll paint that texture. So Control Z. Now let's just add the Z, or the actual 3D depth of that texture. Probably reduce the draw size, and nice. Okay, you see that? Let's add another line right down there. Okay, that's how you add a texture to your pillar, everybody. I hope this was useful. Please subscribe, please comment. If you want to see more, please let me know. Thank you.